Okay. Wow, another flawless entry into the Mac to the Future Go livecast. Yeah, some days it just seems to go better than others. We're good though. We are good. This is episode 13, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised if everything just goes to freaking hell right from the start. We have Brian Monroe. Hey, Brian, you are a regular, and I thank you so very, very much. We have, or I have a really good, what I think is a really good topic this week. And then something really funny after the break. We're going to talk about the something that I put in a couple days ago. I asked, how you got started with the Mac to the Future group, and got some really really interesting answers. And that's going to be like in the second part of the show. But for the topic for the first part of the show this week is going to be, could you, basically the question is, can you use iOS devices as your only computer? And it's kind of a loaded question because it a lot of it depends on what you use your computer for. If you're using your computer for just, general stuff, you're surfing the web and getting email and the things that 99% of people use a computer for, then honestly, you can easily get along with an iOS device, even if your needs are a little more hardy. And, I'm going to go over some of that stuff here. You could still use just iOS devices. Um, but there's still a lot of barriers, the so-called pro users that iOS just isn't going to do it for you. If you're a pro video editor, pro audio editor, if you're a coder, if you're an app developer, well, iOS isn't going to do it for you. However, most of the people that use computers aren't doing things like that. So let's not dismiss it out of hand. Something that I wanted to talk about was some of the things that I use computers for, and whether or not I could use just iOS for the things that I do on an everyday basis. And for me, the answer is yes, I could. It wouldn't be as easy, and that's probably the biggest reason why I continue to do things like this live cast uh, with a regular computer. However, I could just use an iPad. I could just use an iPhone. It would somewhat limit my options, but it could be done. But for some of the other stuff I do, I do a lot of audio recording. Besides doing this live cast, I also do the My Mac podcast every single week with Gaz over there in the UK. And you can easily create podcasts with iOS devices. And after this is all over with, if you go into the show notes for this one, there will be links to all the applications that I'm going to talk about here. But as far as recording podcasts goes, and I'm talking about an all-in-one solution that has the ability to have bumpers and opening music, and basically anything that you would want to do as a podcaster with audio, you can do it with this app, and it's called Boss Jock. It's from bossjockstudio.com. It has a built-in cart program. So for let me find it here. Now I've got for my cart program on the Mac, I use this thing from Ambrosia Software. It's called, let's see if I can get it over here. It's called Soundboard. And I think I have it hooked up through the audio device that I record this with. Let's see here. Yes, that's the Bronx sound. I love that sound. But yeah, doing things like that, or
Hit it.
Gaz's tips that I just started to play a little bit of right there. these are all things that I do while I'm recording the podcast. And BossJock, with its built-in cart program, allows me to pre-position some of these audio bits, and I can easily, while I'm recording live, hit a button on my iPad or even an iPhone, because it'll work with either one of them. Though obviously with an iPad you have more space. Just hit a button and you're good to go. Um, there's also some online services. I don't have them here in the show notes, but there's Spreaker and Mixler that have iOS applications and the ability to not only record local but to record through directly through their services. Something to look for. Now for audio editing, it gets a little trickier because iOS doesn't like to share between applications, so um, it does get a little trickier. There's a couple of programs that I do use. Now, a lot of times, what I'll do is I will upload the audio to a cloud service like Dropbox or Box or even Apple's iCloud, or I mean, there's a ton of cloud services out there that you can use. And then once they're up in the cloud, then typically I can bring them back down again into some of these other programs. And one that I've really liked for a while is called Aria, AURIA. It's from wavemachinelabs.com. And another one that's a little trickier to use, but in some ways, um, it has kind of a cleaner interface and easier to do with multitrack, and it's called Multitrack DAW. It's from harmonicdog.com. Special mention for some of the other programs like Audio Bus and AUM, which kind of gives you like virtual audio mixers so that you can, if the other programs support it, allow you to take audio from one part and kind of mix them together. So far, Skype doesn't let you do that. I can't think of any of the various chat clients that will let you do that as of yet. Um, let's see some of the other ones, like another good audio program that I like is called Twisted Wave, which is great for kind of down and dirty audio editing. You can add, there's filters and all kinds of effects, as well as being able to transcode from one format to another. Now, for video editing, a program that I have used quite a bit is called Pinnacle Studio Pro, and it sort of does multi-track video editing. Splice does not do multi-track video editing, but it's very, very easy to use. And of course, there's Apple's own iMovie. The problem with video editing is that it typically takes up a lot of processing power. And I don't think that, especially earlier on when Apple created the iPad, that they were thinking about things like multi-track video editing, multi-track audio editing. But these are now things that are kind of coming to the forefront. Apple has the best app ecosystem. So, and honestly, more people who are willing to actually, I know this sounds crazy, spend money on decent applications. So a lot of the app developers just naturally kind of gravitate toward Apple's ecosystem instead of Android, because they'll make more money there, even though, Apple is, one of 10 or two of 10 for every Android device. There's a couple of video editors I want to try. One is called Quick, that kind of allows you to also add audio clips with music, and it's supposed to be able to take audio clips and make them match up with whatever your video is that you're editing. Have not tried that one yet. Another one that I want to try is called Luma Fusion Pro. It's not cheap. It's about $20, but it offers, and this is what kind of gets me interested in a program like this. It offers 3 tracks for both audio and video, and more importantly, it's supposed to be able to do keyframing. And if that works as advertised, that would be just freaking awesome. What I need to do is get a hold of the company that makes Luma Fusion Pro and see if they'll give me a kind of like a review copy, or it's not even really so much of a copy as you know, they just send me a code so that I can download it. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I would love to try that program. I don't know if I want to spend $20 to see if it works. So, whoops, hold on here, folks. Stop it. All right. Let's see. Who do we have? Paul Williams and Brian Moreau are still over there in the chat room. Come on, speak to me, guys. Let me know what's going on. You guys can hear me okay? I was talking about live casting earlier. There's one that's supposed to let you, you have to have these different cameras hooked up through Wi-Fi, but it's supposed to be able to grab these different cameras and use them for live casting. So instead of just having the one camera that's looking at the person, you could have one over here and one over here, or different cameras in different areas. It's called Broadcast Me, and of course you can also live stream direct from the Facebook app, though it is somewhat limited. Now, getting away from that kind of stuff, there's also Office apps. Now, a lot of people that use Macs or PCs don't want to even contemplate using a tablet as their main computing device, because then they can't get access to some of the regular Office applications. Well, Microsoft makes that ridiculously easy. If you have a Microsoft 365 account, which gives you full access to all of the features for MS Office mobile applications, as well as a lot of cloud storage, they also give you, at least on the Mac side, they give you 5 licenses. So for basically $99 a year, you have an always updated version of Microsoft Office. You get something like a terabyte, or maybe more, maybe a little less, of cloud storage. And you also get 5 licenses. So in my case, I've got it on my Mac Pro. I've got it on my laptop. My wife has it on her laptop. My kids have it on their computers. And $99 a year. It's always there, always ready to go. Now, when I was using, you guys may remember I was talking about this last week, the Remix Mini, which is a little Android-based device. I had put the mobile Microsoft mobile Office applications on that, and which of course I'm using Android as a desktop operating system, worked great. I was really impressed. I would love to see Apple do this, and then be able to have the same kind of environment with something like Microsoft Office, the mobile version of the apps, which are quite powerful. If you don't want to spend $99 a year, there are other alternatives in iOS. There's WPS Office, and again, there'll be links in the show notes over on YouTube. And once I get it uploaded into YouTube and I transcode it and bring it back over into Facebook, I'll put links to all the stuff that I'm talking about here once I get them back over to Facebook. Now, so you've got WPS Office, which gives you text, spreadsheet, presentation apps, kind of sounds familiar, and a PDF editor. I've never tried to edit a PDF in iOS. I'm not quite sure how that would work. Could still be good. Now, WPS Office doesn't offer their own cloud storage, but you can upload anything that you make in WPS to a variety of different cloud services, including Microsoft's OneDrive. However, and this would be kind of a deal breaker for me, there is no WPS Office for the Mac. There's no Mac version of WPS Office. It's Windows, Linux, Android, and iOS. There's also Office Suite from Moby Systems, and again, I've never tried this one, and it's free with lots of different in-app purchases that I've also obviously never tried. You can, look these up, check the links, see if it's something that you might be interested in. There's also a bunch of notes apps that can sync across multiple platforms to do list apps, cloud storage apps, which as long as you have access online can take the place of a file system that iOS just does not have yet anyway. Apps that can scan documents through your camera, turn them into PDFs, apps to track billable hours, apps to turn your phone or tablet into a secure point of sale system, otherwise known as POS. Yeah, that's what they call it, POS. And there's a whole lot more. And that's not even counting things like photo editing, graphic design, all of these applications that you would think you could only do on a real computer, you can do on iOS devices. Now, if you don't have an iPad, check out some of these things on your phone. It may convince you to take a look at an iPad. An iPad has some definite advantages and disadvantages as compared to a Mac or Windows laptop. Chief for me being that depending on which model you get, you can have an always on connection. You can have it connected up through LTE with AT&T and Verizon and Sprint, all the US and overseas carriers. And with that, it means you're not dependent on Wi-Fi, which may or may not be secure depending on where you are. But chances are your data connection through your carrier will be much more secure than a Wi-Fi connection, even though it won't be as fast. The other advantage that I think iPads have over most computers is battery life. They'll stay up and running much, much longer. It's, a lot of it just depends on what it is that you want to use a computer for while you're out and about. I went to the last 3 Macworld Expos and did not take a Mac laptop. I did everything that I would typically do at a big conference like that with just an iPad, including, creating podcasts and writing articles and just all kinds of stuff. So it can be done. It just depends on what it is that you expect from a computing device. And I'm hoping that within not too much more time, that Apple will make iOS much more user-friendly and, we can have a better experience with it. Computers are constantly getting smaller and thinner. And I think the devices like the iPad, and even though I don't agree with their quoted reasons for making the device, even things like the Surface. Anyway, we're gonna take a little break, and when we come back, we are gonna talk about all the reasons why you guys decided to join the Mac to the Future group. So everyone, please hold on. We'll be right back.
Everybody, please stand by. And, we'll be right back.
And welcome everyone back to the mymac.com podcast.
All right, so let's carry on. But
I'm still laughing about something that happened just before we started recording, and we're going to talk about that right now.
I don't know if you heard, Guy, but Sal's going. Did you know that?
Yeah, I heard that. He's leaving Apple. It's a tragedy for everybody.
Oh dear, this is not going well, is it? We are so childish.
We are.
Really are.
It's the G-Men on the mymac.com podcast. Okay, hey, we're back. Let me move this window over here so that I can see it a little bit better. So here's what happened. I posted the question, over 1,200 members. Now, I mean, there's a ton of people in the Mac to the Future Facebook group. And I was just kind of curious as to how everybody ended up getting there. I think when I joined the group, I was part of it was the MacBook group, or, the really awful group that, all you had to do was look sideways at someone and you'd get banned or, start getting stupid warnings and all the rest of that. It was really a no fun group. And it was either Warren or Wang was like, well, you should come on over and check out this other group. And as it turned out, that was the Mac to the Future group. And, I'm still a member of that other group. Hardly ever go there anymore. It's just not a fun experience. And this group is fun. All right. So I might need my glasses. I'm going to need my glasses for this one. So let's take a look at some of the responses that I got over people joining the Mac to the Future group. Todd Hensley said that he followed the rebels from the MacBook Pro group. That's kind of what I did too. And Ed apparently is a big Billy. Is that Billy Idol? Yeah, Billy Idol fan. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Come on. Let's see here. Oh, stop. Niels Van Aken, ex-Serve Owners Group recommendation. Ty Tyson said it was kind of his fault that the group started. And I think Ty and Ed Eisen were like the two guys that kind of started this. Neil Fairbrother says Ty invited him. Benedict Philippon said Neil invited him. Bernadette searched Mac and Facebook, and this group came up. Warren Sklar blames it on Ty Tyson. Understand completely. Carrie Traver says that she came over from an Apple Watch group. Lots of people blaming Ty. Ty. You get the blame for everything that you do. Chris Fowler says your mom. Not my mom, your mom. Chris Fowler also says men's room stall. David Jonas says saw an advert in a porno mag. Then seriously invited from another site. Michael Rowe, friend was a member. Ed Benton, I had a prophetic dream, which I replied that was better than a prophylactic dream. Okay. Warren Sklar says if you know what's good for you, you'll tell your friends. Elliot Day says he was at a stripper bar and the doc came in and told him about it, and there was an ad in the back of an almanac book. Sud says it was a suggested groups, or in a suggested groups tab. Dawson Verdi, I was in the other group, got invited to this one the first day, and he's been here ever since. Jesse Jaslow claims that she was forced by Warren and is still being held hostage. And Warren wants to know if she put the lotion in the basket yet. And if you don't, you will get the hose. Dave Trevorrow, I hope if I'm screwing up your names, I'm so sorry. Recommended by admins of two other groups that he belongs to. Stephen Gray says, turns out this is not the Mac group. Let's see. Rob McCauley says Ronnie Greer had a meetup and invited him to come on over. Adam Winokura, nepotism. Jen Anthony was searching for Mac groups, dug the name, and we let him in. Caleb Casey, Warren told him about it, and Warren says that he regrets that decision daily. Yeah. And Elliot says, yeah, probably a few do. Let's see. Melissa Trahan says that she's a Mac geek and Apple fanatic looking for people with similar interests. Stumbled onto this group one day and asked to join. Don't know anybody, but the people seem cool. Yeah. No, we are cool. Jolien, we are cool. We are cool. Let's see. Daniel Mallory says he has no idea how he got into the group, and Warren says that's how we get you. Very, very true. Referral from the watch group. Needed advice. Guy Groves says Deputy Doofy, R.I.P. Ty added Christian Lane. Jeff Drenston. I hope I know I've screwed up your name, Jeff, and I'm sorry. Says that he didn't. This group found him. Graham Spice says he hears voices. Yeah, me too. Me too, especially since I stopped smoking. Deborah Payne heard they gave out free food. Well, we do, but you wouldn't want to eat it. Trust me. Neil Fairbrother says he was looking for a Microsoft Windows group. Says that his PC was infected with some malware. Clicked on the link, and next thing he knew, he was in this group. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. Larry Eisen says he knows a guy who knew a guy. Oh, man, so many great answers here. Paul Burt was one of the original members from the other group. Tomato Hope Bartlett says Apple. Apple Watch Group. I get jokes. All right. Yeah, that was good. Jerry Panita says that Elliot Day invited him in. Wow, there's so many answers here. I cannot believe how big of a response this got. Marcus Benjamin says some crazy old something went ape something and kicked out his best admin, so we started this place up. Yeah, I bet that was a fun day, Warren. What else? I'm looking for some of the good ones. A lot of people came here from the Apple Watch group. Just kind of popped up when they were searching for Apple groups. Ryan Vandershoff says that he joined every single Apple group on Facebook. Why? Why would you do that to yourself, Ryan? Let's see. Justin Flynn says that he heard Steve Jobs is a member here. Donnie Ives is. Let's see. Ronnie Greer says, I'm not sure how I got here, but I really enjoy it. My group ringtone and Ed Eisen's book make it well worth it. That's true. Ed Eisen's book is great. You should get that book if you haven't got it already. It's only 99 cents, for God's sake. Alexis Molina says, was walking down a dark alley when I saw a man wearing an old crusty Speedo and beaver pelt jacket, yelling obscenities at his PowerBook G4. He was furious, sweating, crying. He suddenly looked at him and yelled, I'm a certified Apple tech, damn it. Elliot is a moron. I looked at his PowerBook screen and saw Safari, because only Safari is allowed. Opened to this Facebook page. When I asked his name, he slapped me in the mouth and said, I'm effing Paul Burt, asshole. Right then I knew I had to join this group that inspired his passion. Yeah, and then some remarks about Richard, and I think we all know what Richard that is that we are talking about. Saw it promoted on Facebook. Carl Abbott says he's known Ed Eisen since kindergarten, and he's still smarter than me, so I read what he writes. Ed Eisen says since kindergarten, and that was only last year. Anyway, I think that is going to about do it for tonight. I really thank everybody who has shown. I'm almost missed the window. Thanks to everyone who's shown up tonight. Not many comments tonight. My goodness. But we will be back next week for another thrilling episode of Mac to the Future. That'll be the 14th. And let's see, today is March or May 31st. So that will be, I think, the 7th. And there will be one more after that. So next week and the week after that, there'll be a show. Week after that, I'm going to be down in Florida with my son. So there won't be a show that week unless somebody else wants to do one. And let me know if you do. We can work out something to get it over onto the official Facebook, not Facebook, YouTube page that'll have all of these videos. And what I'll start doing, I'll start linking to the YouTube page when I post this video back after I edit it a little bit in Facebook. But real quick, there's all kinds of ways you can contact me. You can contact me through my email address, which is gsearle1 at oh no, that's I don't want to give out that one. How about guy@mymac.com? You can also give me a call on our Skype number, which is area code 703-436-9501. 703-436-9501. I would love to get some feedback. And I mean, I don't get a lot of people that watch this show live. And I do see that there are multitudes that do watch it after the fact when I repost it. So, if I can get some feedback from some of you, just let me know how I'm doing. If there's things that you think I should be doing differently, I may or may not do it differently because, yeah, that's just the way I am. I'm difficult sometimes. You can also hear my weekly ramblings with Gazmaz over on the MyMac podcast, available through iTunes. If you would like me to transcode this into just audio and make that available through iTunes or something like that, let me know, and I can do that too. It's not that hard. I was kind of hoping to get probably over 20 episodes before I did it, because otherwise it's a lot of work, and to do it for just a few shows doesn't make any sense. But let me know if you guys would like to hear this just through audio, like going to work or whatever. Let me know, and I'll work on transcoding it to put it over into audio as well, or just audio. What else? Oh, there's if you would like to meet me in July in Chicago or close to Chicago, Woodstock, Illinois, there's going to be the MacStock Conference and Expo, Woodstock, Illinois, July 16th and 17th. And it's real inexpensive to do the show. It's $199 for the entire weekend. Obviously, you have to supply your own lodging and your own transportation for getting there. But the conference itself is really inexpensive. It's 2 fun-filled days of just meeting with a bunch of crazy Mac people. This is the community spirit that the Macworld Expo used to have. And it's all living right there in Woodstock, Illinois. This is the 3rd year for it. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself the last 2 years. I will be there this year doing the MyMac quiz with Tim Robertson. David Cohen from Tech Fan is going to be there. All kinds of people that you know about. If you listen to podcasts, a bunch of us are going to be there. It's going to be a blast. You can find out more information over at MacStockConferenceandExpo.com, MacStockExpo.com. Basically, if you just look up MacStock 2017, you'll find it. And the $199 isn't even set in stone. You can get $30 off of that by using the coupon code MyMac30OFF, MYMAC 30OFF. $30 off the premium and standard prices. The premium ticket gets you 2 full days of the conference, the Saturday night party, which is going to be so much fun. Just all kinds of there's so much going on, and you can get it for a ridiculous price. And if you're anywhere near Chicago, you should go. It's going to be a real blast, man. You got to go. You just got to go, man. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you all for being here and watching and supporting the Mac to the Future livecast. I am your host, Guy Searle, and I will see you next week.